our national sport. Any big fans? Yeah. Stop lying. You guys don't like cricket. Sure? You guys big fans?
I come from England.
Oh yeah, you're a big fan. Sorry. I'm not a big fan. Alright, me personally. No, but no, that's good. You guys are gonna like this story. So these boys were playing cricket. So Carl Gibbons hits a very lucky shot into the bushes. So he goes over to retrieve the ball, and he notices in the ball, it is a massive, he notices in the ground, it's a massive sinkhole, about 100 feet through this gap, up above. So these boys, not having any way to stimulate their minds in the early 1900s, decide, we're gonna go and find this cricket ball. Alrighty?
Yeah.
So these boys went home, got a very long rope, tied it to the closest tree, and rappelled down here with nothing but a kerosene lantern. Imagine, guys, this was pitch black. It was no beautiful way to get across, no railings. All right, it was pitch black darkness. All right, so obviously these boys did not find that very valuable cricket ball, but what they did find was the beauty of crystal caves. So they went up to the surface to alert their parents. Now these boys were kind of doing a lot of everything this day. They were not playing on their parents' property. They were playing on their neighbor's property, and he owns the Crystal and Fantasy Caves. All right, his name is Mr. Percy Wilkinson. So they had to tell him, you pretty much have a massive hole in your backyard. Alrighty, so he had to come down here and investigate. And he saw the beauty for himself, and he said, I'm going to take this to the government. So he went to the government, and the government obviously didn't have any rules or regulations back in the early 1900s. So him being a very smart businessman, he opened up the very first showcase in 1910. As you guys just direct your attention just behind you and you look in the water, you will see a little boat. All right, this is how our earliest cave goers would get to the end. All right, there was no beautiful bridge right here. We had to keep it as realistic as possible. All right, the main entrance lies right here. All right, we came down the more modern one, but we wanted to keep it realistic for the earliest cave goers. So they would come down here, go in the boat with nothing but a kerosene lantern, and go to the end. Now, if you direct your attention just over here, guys, you're going to look at some of our formations. All right, if you look at some of the tips of these formations, unfortunately, it's a bit of a lack of tips on them. All right, this is because our earliest cave goers would come and just bang on them until they fell, and they would take them home. All right, we cannot do that today because it is very illegal, guys. All right, so nowadays, if you do want a souvenir, I can get you a brochure from upstairs. Alrighty, guys. Also, Mr. Percy Wilkinson decided that's not a very efficient way of getting across, so he built this beautiful bridge in 1915. Obviously, over the years, it's a bit more modern, but you guys get the point. So, guys, I am just going to tell you just a bit about our formations as well, guys, and how they are formed. These beautiful structures you guys see right here, the way they are formed is through our rainwater. All right, the rainwater that we collect on our white roofs from our houses will seep through our limestone, and it carries a mineral called calcium carbonate. All right, as this calcifies through our limestone, it creates these beautiful structures we know today as stalactites. All right, as the excess rainwater drops hit the cave floor, you're going to notice a structure coming from the cave floor up like this. These are called stalagmites, guys. All right, and as time goes on, these will join together like this. All right, guys, we call it a column or a pillar. Alrighty, and over time, guys, they will expand like right here until they are like this. Until they are like this.
That's the stalactites and stalagmites.
Also, guys, the estimated growth rate of these formations is 1 cubic inch every 100 years. So it's very, very slow growth. So we can come back in 100 years to see the growth. You guys gonna come with me or no? Also, guys, just a quick question for you guys. What sort of water do we think this is? Do we think this is just ocean water? What do we think? What do we think?
Ocean water.
Ocean water? Okay. Anyone else?
No.
Fresh? Heard some fresh?
Fresh water.
Fresh water?
Yeah.
Brackish? I heard brackish. Yes, guys, this is a mixture of our rainwater that seeps through our limestone and drips from the stalactites, and our ocean water, which is salt water. So when these two things merge together, it is known as brackish water. All right, guys, this body of water that you guys are looking at surrounds our airport as well, and it comes from our castle harbor as well. All right, guys, the tide does fluctuate about 3 feet a day as well. You guys have chose to come during high tide. So as we go in, guys, you're going to notice that some of the formations are in your face a bit, and you're going to have to duck down and really pay attention, because these structures are very dense and they do damage. Alrighty, guys. Also, we do not have any marine life in these beautiful cave waters. This is because there's no vegetation or food for the fish to eat. Alright? You may occasionally see them come in, but they find themselves going out very quickly. I also was asked at the top, do we have bats in here? We do not have any bats, guys. No bats in the crystal caves. But what we do have is cockroaches. So just remind you, if one goes on you, just call me and I'll get it off you. True story, true story. Alright, guys, just before we have the second part of the tour, any questions, guys? Alright, so this is where I need you guys to improvise for me a bit. I'm going to turn these